and welcome everybody to another episode of the Cherry Live for More podcast, a space where we go beyond the vehicles and we take a look at some of the faces that really drive this brand forward. My name is Siphumelele Dube and I am the Customer Experience Manager for Cherry South Africa, and I am your host. And today I am joined by Papi Mabele. He is a content creator in the automotive space, and I'm very excited to have a chat with you. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm good, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for coming.
Sure.
Thank you for coming. Tell us about who is Papi?
Sure. Papi is a very mysterious guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I disappear at 4 p.m. and then you'll see me tomorrow again.
Oh, wow.
I'm kidding. But yeah, I'm Papi. Thank you for the intro. I'm a content creator / journalist. That's
Right.
where my entire journey started in the sense of the automotive space. So that's me. And I want to say people call me a gentle giant. Yeah, those that know me very well call me a teddy bear. So yeah, that's me.
I definitely get that.
Oh, wow.
I get that. I second that. What sparked your love for the automotive industry? Because that's your focus, right? In your content and in your journalism?
Yeah, so it happened by accident.
Right,
I want to say by profession. I started off studying engineering. That's where everything comes from. I've always been intrigued by the science of how things come together, essentially. Okay. So that's when I ventured out into that space. And then that just grew from there, being interested in the whole mechanical side of things, but also the beauty of what you see in the metal and also buildings and just engineering in general. I've always been, into that. So that grew. And then I started off actually in the tech space.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when I started my whole journalism journey, writing about tech, reviewing gadgets and what have you. Okay. And by accident, it just snowballed into the automotive industry. Okay. I remember there was a PR professional that moved from doing Nokia to Lexus at the time, many moons ago. And then when he moved to Lexus, he was like, we have to focus on this new car, which is an IS. We need someone that's more on the technical side of things to focus more on the tech in the car.
Right.
We have these new features, etc., etc. Right. So I think this would be, perfect
right
for
up,
you.
Yeah, your alley.
Yeah. So from that one vehicle, it just snowballed again. After reviewing that and focusing on the tech side of things, I moved on to others. Other OEMs saw the interest and were like, hey, we really want your opinion on this and to give your twist on it. So that's how it happened. And then I landed up in the automotive industry. So it's been quite a journey.
We're happy for it. We're glad.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you always been passionate about cars? What's your first memory around cars and,
Sure.
growing up?
Sure. My dad had a Cressida.
Oh, yes.
I think as most legendary dads, out there had. It had all the, I don't know what you even call it, but it had fluff on the dashboard.
Ooh,
and it had beaded, finishes on the seats. He went all out. He was pimping his ride. So,
he accessorized it before accessorizing it.
And it was maroon. I remember the color, nice shiny maroon. Every Sunday he'd be washing it by himself, polishing it, from... When I saw that, I was like, cool, this is how you treat your car. It looks beautiful. Yeah, from there, I just, took that away as a piece of, the space. And then when I got into it, I just
You kind of carried that through.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I love that. I love that. I think everyone, or maybe most South Africans have an experience with a Cressida, especially if you grew up from the hood and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
And then what car... Growing up, so in your youth, did you look at it and think, man, this is the car I want to own one day?
Sure. I'm into, those that know me would know that I'm into more of the finer things in life a little bit.
Yes, okay.
So for me, the Rolls-Royce brand has always been a brand that I, when I look at it, I'm like, one day is one day. And till this day, I think a Cullinan for me, having one of those in my driveway, that would be like the...
And was that since you were...
Yes, definitely.
Your taste has been...
Yeah, it started with the Dawn and then now it moved to the Cullinan because it's much bigger and
Okay. So going back into your content creating, what do you feel like your audience cares most about when it comes to like cars and the conversation around cars? Is your audience more focused on the look and, you know, the styling of the vehicle, or are they concerned around, you know, performance or fuel efficiency? Like, what do you think your audience cares most about?
So for me, what I see that people are really, it's the questions more than anything.
Yeah, it's okay.
Is how it fits into their day-to-day life, really, the practicality thereof. And that's what, even when I approach my content, I look at, for myself, what would stand out for me when you're telling me about this car? So that's how I relate to my audience. But also I take their feedback, you know, into consideration as well, their comments as well, to say, let's focus more maybe on the tech stuff in the car.
Yeah.
If that's not the beat, let's move it on to the more day-to-day living. I love to do road trips with the cars that I get. So take it on the road trips, drive it far and wide, document all of that, and then relay my story on that. Cool, boot space was proper. Cool, the fuel efficiency made sense. Cool, this didn't make sense. So I highlight those kind of things. But for me, it's more about making it relevant to the you know, the normal day-to-day user, as opposed to focusing on the things that wouldn't really make sense.
I was going to ask that, like, is it difficult to still obviously touch on the features of the car and what the car can do, but also keeping it relevant for the everyday person? Like, if I'm not a techie, I just get in and drive. So when you start telling me about all of these different things, my mind kind of, you know, freezes a little bit.
It glitches.
So yes, exactly. So is it difficult kind of, you know, saying, okay, a car does A, B, and C, but also still kind of translating that into everyday? How would I then use this on an everyday basis?
Sure. So that's where I make it more practical, more than anything, in the sense of, it's one thing to tell you about, you know, a certain feature or what have you. It's another thing to actually show you in you know, in practice, or making it practical. So that's what I really focus on more than anything. So I'll show it in a practical way to make it make sense, but also just breaking it down for the actual audience or the viewer to be able to consume that and actually see yourself, okay, cool, this makes sense. I always wondered what it is.
And this is how I would then use it.
Exactly. One thing that I really like to focus on is making the whole new energy electric vehicle sort of topic or side of things relatable to the consumer, because a lot of South Africans still have question marks about charging. Even now, before, you know, we started taping, you know, there's questions and things that you really need to, you know, clarify and make it make sense, for lack of a better word.
We're in the age of content creation and, you know, people being and spending their time online. Do you feel that you, as a content creator and as a journalist and somebody who has a voice online around automotive, do you think that it's kind of shifting, like the influence where people sort of get their information around buying cars, shifting from walking into a dealership versus I'm going to go on Instagram and see, you know, what people are saying about this car?
No, definitely. There has been sort of like a 360. And I think what I remember from, again, not to reveal my age, many moons ago, you know, when your first sort of interaction of point of call would be the dealer, right? And then from there, you get your brochure, you get what have you. By no means am I discrediting that. It's still there and they serve their purpose. But now, the way life and things are, you just want the information readily available to what you have in front of you, which is your mobile phone, number one. It'll extend to your laptop, tablet, TV, again, there we go. So we see that as being sort of like the first sort of stop or point of action where people consume the content or they look for it online. And then once you've sort of narrowed or shortened your list, then you'll head out to the dealership, right, where you can interact with the product more, you know, discuss financing, whatever, you know, it might be. But definitely, I want to say where content creation plays a vital role in that first point of call, in driving that awareness about a product and educating. And then it just funnels, you know, down to the rest.
So in that consideration phase, the dealership kind of is probably your last point, where before you would maybe start at a dealership, walk around, look at the cars, but now you're like, I'm going to the dealership with intention. Yes,
definitely.
Cool. Let's talk about NEV.
Sure. Yes.
Let's talk about new energy vehicles and the landscape, or even just like the time that we're currently at with NEVs. I'm going to ask this question. And there have been different answers for different reasons, but I want to get your opinion. Do you think South Africa is ready?
Sure. I think South Africa is definitely curious, but not ready to take the plunge.
Right.
You know, our landscape is so different to compare it to China for various reasons. The economy being one of them. But also our, makeup, everything is far and wide.
Yes.
We don't have cities connecting where it's hard for you to distinguish, where Centurion ends and then where, So for us, the makeup is very different. And I think for us to fully appreciate NEVs, it's going to take some time.
You're right.
And number one factor being infrastructure.
Yes.
I'm not saying it's bad. It's definitely not the worst.
Yes.
But it can definitely get better. So from that sense, that's why I'm saying our makeup is very, very different and unique.
Yeah.
So it'll take some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some of the biggest concerns, maybe even misconceptions, that you get from people that you interact with around NEV? I mean, like you said, we were speaking about it earlier, and people have questions for you.
Yeah.
What have you experienced to be like the biggest concerns or the biggest questions? Or
Yeah, it definitely has to be around charging, number one. And then number two is just the education on EVs themselves.
Yeah.
Because I think in our country being unique, right? Taking a step back and looking at when the technology was introduced. It was only introduced, or I want to say the bias was, placed on more privileged people, as opposed to a blanket approach to the whole country to be like, cool, these are EVs, this is how they work.
Yeah.
Cool, you find that your affluent areas and people are more inclined on what an EV is, what it does, the range, how far you can go, etc., those kind of things.
Yeah.
But then you'll find that our people, especially Kokasi, that's where their questions are, and to, their detriment, when the technology was introduced, because they were left out of the conversation, and also disregarding that they can potentially afford them. You know? That's where, the issue is. That you have people that can afford it, but they were never included as part of the conversation from the get-go. So right now, there's question marks. They don't know. It sounds foreign. I'm not going to consider that. It's not for me. But you'll find that actually it'll make sense for you, especially when you look at hybrids and plug-in hybrids, where it would make sense for that user and they can actually afford it. So that's why I think, for me, especially when I talk to people, they have a lot of questions. They are curious about it. They want to experience it. But it's a pity that, they were left out. That's where I find myself having to educate, having to reintroduce, having to, explain things.
I love that you touch on it, because that was actually going to be my next question is, NEVs kind of feels like it was a luxury conversation.
Exactly.
Initially.
Yeah.
And I love that you mentioned that, there was certain groups of people that were left out of that conversation, which is so unfortunate because there is buying power there.
Definitely.
And I think location doesn't really influence
exactly.
the decisions people are able to make.
Yeah.
But I think we're getting there. But do you feel like brands are kind of now playing catch up with that?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then case in point, your brand, and that's what I appreciate about it, because right now it's, especially for the, I want to call them new brands. I don't know how you like to classify, Cherry. But with that, the approach is more, I want to say, blanket approach for everyone. You're not leaving a person out.
Yeah.
You're not leaving a certain demographic out, because potentially, even if it's not the right time now, excuse me, after 2 years, you might be able to and have, that buying power to afford the product.
Absolutely. You have that association already. You have that experience with the brand. So it's top of mind.
Exactly. So that's what I appreciate about it. And that's what I'm starting to see now. But again, it is unfortunate that within that, you have to take a step back and be like reintroducing it and starting from the ground with that audience that was left out. But as I'm seeing that curiosity and then starting to explain things, people are really what was frowned upon, now people are starting to embrace. Oh yeah, it's electric. Okay, this is cool. Okay. Yeah, let me take a picture next to it. And people love all the technology that comes with it. Oh, they thought it'll take days to charge. It's just a few hours. That's awesome. Yeah, Exactly. So and I love being part of those conversations, especially introducing something to someone that never had the faintest idea of what it does. Absolutely. And the power of the technology. So that for me makes me happy. Yeah.
No, right, absolutely. Do you feel, and I'm going to move into like Chinese brands as a whole, do you feel that the market currently is kind of oversaturated, so it confuses potential buyers when there's so much going on out there? Or is it better for the market that we have all of these options to choose from?
Definitely. It's better for the market that we have all these options to choose from.
Okay.
What I also want to backtrack a few years ago, let's just take 6 years ago as an example.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, where you had limited options to choose from. And that made the entry or the barrier so much more, difficult.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But now because we have options and we have price points from 200 and less than 200k upwards, I love that, and people get to take advantage of it. Transport, we know, is a big issue in our country. Again, to the point that I made earlier, because our makeup is so different, everything is far and wide, it makes sense to have something affordable, something accessible for you to use to get from point A to B.
Absolutely.
Where you don't have the challenge and relying so much on public transport. So I think it's great for our economy for now. But what I fear is the future, as more and more players are coming in. At some point, question marks that I have, in my own thoughts after 4 p.m. is...
when you disappear.
Yes, when I disappear is cool. Is there a point where this is going to become a little bit too much, not just for the market in general, but even for the consumer, where you don't even know where to go. You just... you're not taking any action.
You have decision paralysis because it's a lot.
It's a lot, and you don't know who to trust. You don't know where to go. You don't know what to choose. That's what I worry about. But for now, I'm happy and I'm enjoying, all of these new entrants and products that people get to choose from.
Sure. Do you feel that brands that don't kind of adapt, especially where NEV is concerned, are going to be left out of the conversation eventually? Or do you think that there's still a strong enough market for some of these legacy brands within South Africa?
I think there is space for them, but it's a matter of adapting in the sense of technology, introducing, NEV offerings. I think those that are hesitant to introduce or look at them, they will struggle. Because, look, never mind, NEV being, yes, it's a new technology and what have you. There's so many positives for the end user as well.
Yes.
Fuel consumption, you get to save. You don't have to fill up as often. We know how the prices are, lately.
Let's not even talk about it.
So for the user, there's so many benefits in that when you bring in the technology. So I think brands, they'll have to start adapting, and introducing these NEV products or solutions to the end consumer. And those that don't will eventually get left behind. Look, it's one thing also, as a legacy brand, yes, sure, have your... pompous and what have you, because you're a legacy brand and you're moving all these thousands of units. But over time, and as you get sort of relaxed and sort of comfortable in your position, that's where you'll get left behind,
Absolutely.
So eventually they'll have to adapt as well and, join the party.
Join the party, for sure. Speaking of brands, what was the first brand you drove that was a new energy vehicle?
Now I have to think really hard.
And then what was your experience or the thing that surprised you the first time you did that? Because you've been doing this for a while. So.
Yes. If I remember correctly, first NEV was a hybrid from Toyota. I don't know if you remember back in the day with the Prius and everything, they sort of introduced the technology in a mass market sort of, approach. So that was my first experience. Then it was something completely new. And for me, I didn't see where it fit in, right? Because also when it arrived in the country, you first saw it in like movies and stuff.
Yes.
It always looked weird. And you saw sort of like weird people driving it in movies and series and stuff. And I'm just like, it's a tick box exercise. Let's experience it and see where this goes. And then the BMW i3 came out back then. Actually, before that, it was a Nissan Leaf. I actually got to drive one of them actually when they were still in fleet. It was still new.
Yeah.
I think it was around 2018, 2017.
Right.
Yeah, I remember my early days in Dube. It was exciting, but also weird because you'd spend more than, right now I'll spend about 20 minutes at a charger because of the speed and because of how things have progressed. But back then, I'd have to spend hours at a charger only to get about 60 kilometers, 70 kilometers from a single charge.
Yeah.
So that for me then was something to wrap my head around.
Yes.
The technology certainly was exciting. The car wasn't the greatest looking back then, but, just the idea of not filling up and actually experiencing this for me was something,
it was enough to make you curious.
Yeah, it was enough. But it was a whole process behind it, I remember also, that didn't really add up. Because after work, I'd have to go to a charger, which was on the way home. And then I'll only finish charging at about 8 p.m. when the dealer's already closed and the security guy is wondering, when are you leaving? So you're there like a skavenga and you're like, okay, guys.
I'm just charging this car.
Yeah, I'm just charging. So that whole thing was a little bit weird. But just being in a new energy vehicle then was kind of exciting. I'm glad we progressed. And then the i3 came out, which looked a little bit better.
Right.
Charging was a little bit more improved. The range was certainly great. And that also, people, when they saw you driving that, they were like, what is that?
Wow.
Let's see. Oh, it looks clean inside, what have you. So those were the early days and what I got to experience as well. And actually looking back and, seeing how things have come, it's actually, it's something great to...
definitely come a long way.
Definitely
come a long way. And there's, thank goodness, better options, especially like style-wise.
Yes, definitely. And then, sure.
I mean, no hate to the Leaf. Our philosophy for Cherry is live for more.
Sure.
That is our brand philosophy. And it's something that we've taken and we've kind of owned in that we're trying to experience life as a Cherry community in ways that go beyond the car, hence the podcast. Right?
Yeah.
And then just with everything that we do, cars are important. It is our form of business. But we're all about, connecting with South Africa in a way that feels like more.
Yeah.
What does live for more look like for you?
Sure. That's very deep. So live for more for me, I think it's just being selfish.
Yeah.
In every day in the things that I do. In as much as I know life gets in the way lately, right? But it's just thinking about the next person as well.
Yes.
Regardless of the situation, environment, or where I'm at, just being kind.
Yeah.
And just being considerate towards others. For me, that's number one thing.
Yeah.
Coupled with respect and all the other things. But
absolutely.
Yeah, I think that for me stands out.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So you're not so deep.
Yeah, no.
You got through that. You got through that. What would you say to a young person out there that is interested in cars, but also young person, so they're online and they kind of want to get into a bit of what you've got going on?
Yeah.
What would you say to them? What are the things that they should be looking out for? What direction should they be taking? What would be your advice?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, I'd say, I know it's so easy to say this, but don't give up. Yeah, keep knocking on those doors. Eventually they will open up. One thing, especially as an industry, that we tend to have, the conversation that we tend to have is, it's a bit saturated right now, but it's not. It's not. You know, there is a space for each and every one of us. I want to say don't give up, first and foremost. Number two is hone in on what makes you, right? It's all fair to get inspiration from, you know, the likes of Kumbis, the likes of Papis, whoever, right? But stay true to yourself and see what impact and what, you know, angle you can give to the industry.
Yeah.
And then I want to say number three, ask questions, man. Be curious, you know, learn, and stay humble.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, but I'm not saying to your own detriment, but, you know, be respectful, stay humble in the way and how you approach things and carry yourself. I think those are the ones, and yeah. Just
I love
keep
that you
doing
said that there is space.
Yeah,
you
definitely.
Because there's so many different types of people, and we're all unique, right? And
definitely.
there is space for somebody that looks like you, that has your interests, and would do things the way you would do them.
Definitely.
Because there is no other Papi.
Exactly.
I love that. I love that. What's next for you?
Sure. You mean tomorrow?
I mean right now, like when we're done shooting, where are you going?
Where am I going? All right. So, geesh, man, I think for me, and the one thing for me is essentially just finding ways to be innovative, right, in the work that I do. And one thing for me, and especially my audience, is about, I want to say, high quality content and experiences that I get to showcase and do in my storytelling.
Right.
So for me, it's just always finding the next thing, which we are in the face of. And definitely number two is stronger collaborations with our partners as well. What I want to move away from is, and there is space for that, where I'm doing content because, yes, a product is new, but, you know, I want to enrich that in the day-to-day of what I do. Give people a more concise experience of the product for a longer term, and an angle that or something that they wouldn't get from just your standard 7-day period, etc. So that's next for me, and definitely more experiences. There will definitely be more road trips coming up as we explore South Africa with all the wonderful brand partners that we have.
Absolutely.
And their vehicles, of course.
Yes.
So definitely watch the space for that. And especially on the EV front, I will keep the conversation going.
Please. That's so important.
Definitely.
And education, like we said earlier, is so important. The more you know is the more you know.
Definitely.
And the more you can make informed decisions.
Yeah. So we'll keep that conversation going, especially with the new brands that are coming up and models and all of that, and some that I can't disclose yet.
Oh,
so,
is there?
Yeah.
We'll talk after.
We'll talk about it. So yeah, there's that to look out for. And then also collaborating with my fellow colleagues within the industry as well, where we start to work hand in hand with each other, feature in other people's content as well, and vice versa.
Yes.
So there'll be more of that coming up as we, help the industry.
Absolutely. I love that.
It's cool.
Think you.
No, it's a pleasure. This was awesome.
Thank you. Do you have any questions for me before
I do. I do.
Yeah.
I think
I should stop asking if people have questions for me, because then,
it gets messy.
Yeah.
For the users, excuse me, for the viewers, excuse me, are you able to share more on the Cherry brand, especially from an NEV front, because it's sort of been the anchor of our conversation?
Yes.
Yeah, what's coming up for the brand in that front? You don't have to get model specific, but yeah.
Look, I think the audience might know that we're obviously launching a few new products this year. All very exciting stuff. We're going into new segments this year. So, I mean, there's a lot to look out for.
Yeah.
Can I be specific? Sure.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
So we've got the new Cherry Q coming up. Our little baby. So again, going into a new segment, very excited about that. I love that car. I am so excited for everyone to see and experience that vehicle. It's I just love it so much. I think it might be my favorite cherry.
Okay, now I can't wait to see it.
Also, that changes. My favorite cherry changes every day, but right now that is my favorite.
Okay.
And then we're also coming out with an SRV, so it's like a sport recreational vehicle, like a modular type of thing with the T-Go V. I think we're going with. Yeah, also launching later this year.
Oh, wow.
Again, exciting, something completely different and new. And I think South Africans will enjoy this product. It's, I'm not going to say too much about it, but it's new, it's different, and I'm very excited about it.
Perfect for road trips.
Perfect for road trips.
Say less.
Perfect for road trips. And then, I mean, obviously, at some point, I'm not going to say when, we're going to enter the pickup space as well. So, yeah, all very exciting stuff, man. And Cherry feels like, especially when you're in it, feels like a brand that is just go, 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 go. But I think it's important to always kind of reinvent and keep the market excited for new products. And especially like you said with NEV, give people something excited about. Yes, it's a new energy vehicle, but we also want excitement, you know. So yeah, man, that's what's coming up.
Awesome. And then with the philosophy that you asked me about.
Yes.
For you, what does that look like?
Like in my personal capacity?
Sure.
Live for more for me is just going like above and beyond. So I'm a mom. And I don't know, I feel like as a person I can be very nurturing. So that for me is what Live for More is. How much of myself that I can, give to others. I think apart from just being a mom, I'm also like in the space where I'm very people focused and people facing. So it's just more for the people whose lives that I'm kind of in, or that people that I kind of get to interact with. And yeah, man, I love that. I love dealing with our customers, but not just on a customer level. I love to have one-on-one conversations and just adding more or adding another layer of the type of work that we're doing. And I think I've said it in another podcast before, when work doesn't feel like work and it feels like relationships, and we're just doing what we love and talking to people that, we get along with. So yeah, that for me is Live for More.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
You got deep there.
Did I? It is a deep question.
Yeah. So, yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, that's all from my side.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. That was such a cool conversation, Papi.
Definitely. Let's do it again soon.
Absolutely. We'll obviously put your details in the description box so people can find you and learn more about NEVs and, get content that they can relate to and, stop being so fearful and the education, the material is out there. Just go watch, have a look, read.
Definitely.
Educate yourself and be curious. And then go into the dealership and sit in the car and test drive it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's where I think, that opens up your mind completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you get to experience
once you get in the game.
The instant power, everything, the finishing. Man.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can go on for days.
Exactly. Yeah. But thank you so much for joining us today. I really do appreciate it.
Cool.
And yeah, man, thank you. That was such a cool conversation around NEVs. Make sure you guys, like we said, go to the dealership, test drive the car, see for yourself. But that is it from us. Thank you once again, Papi, for joining us. That has been another episode of the Cherry Live for More podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Ask questions in the comment section, and Papi himself will answer all your questions around NEVs. But that is it from us, you guys. Thank you so much to our team here at One Day Studios for making this possible. And I will see you next week. Bye.